All right, guys, here's the show notes for today. Got a lot of good news from Gama.
Anything on Portal? Wow.
Welcome to Duality Gamecast. Today's episode, news from Gama Trade Show.
Welcome to Duality Gamecast. I'm Matt.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm William. Today we're taking a look at the news from Gama Trade Show. The Gama Trade Show is an annual show held in Las Vegas, which gathers together publishers in the gaming and toy manufacturer industry. It's kind of an exclusive show. If you're not a publisher, a distributor, a retail shop owner, or a member of the press, you're really probably not going to get into this show. The main point of the show is for publishers to show off cool new products, product lines, and future plans, mainly to the retailers. It's a really neat idea, and one of the most important things for us as gamers is it previews a lot of cool stuff coming out in the near future. A lot of the things they preview at Gama become realities by the time Gen Con rolls around. So it's a real neat way to get a first look at what's going to be hot at conventions. So we're going to go through some of the products announced at Gama from some of the bigger, more well-known publishers. So I'm going to start with a publisher and their product announced. And I just want to get your guys' opinions on it, and we'll go from there. Okay. So let's start with Upper Deck. Upper Deck announced quite a bit of stuff. First off, an expansion for their popular Marvel Legendary system, Secret Wars. Secret Wars is an ongoing story coming to Marvel Comics right now, where all the different universes battle, and you have like different kinds of Spider-Man and different kinds of Wolverine. I think they're even incorporating the animated universe into this one. And the shtick apparently this time around is whoever wins becomes the one real character in the future. So if animated show Wolverine somehow comes out on top, that's the Wolverine you're going to get. Okay. What do you guys think about that one?
Recently, I don't know if you remember this, Dad. You know how I had this binder and it was full of these cards and I threw them away?
That was Versus. That was not Legendary.
Is that different?
Yes.
Oh, is this like a board game? What is
this? This is a deck building game.
This is the deck building game. It's like
it's a different one?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I've never really been that into deck building games, especially like the Marvel one that we played a while ago.
So it's not doing anything for you?
Yeah, I don't really.
Well, for me, I'm going to be honest, it's kind of the same way with me. I liked Legendary, but since we played the Alien Legendary Encounters thing, it's completely replaced it for me. And other expansions of the Legendary game haven't really improved it for me. It's just been more of the same kind of feeling for me.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big hit, mainly for the really comic-focused folks.
For people who are just really into the Marvel Legendary game, they've been buying everything anyways.
But kind of as you previewed there, they also announced a new Legendary Encounters set for Predator. Yeah. So this is it's taking more of the Alien, Legendary Encounters Alien system, which is a more in-depth, more thematic, scenario-based system than the regular Marvel Legendary. And they're taking it into the Predator universe. And in this one, apparently you have three options. You can be humans versus predators. You can be predators versus humans. Or you can be one predator versus many humans. And it's cross-compatible with the Alien set. So you could have aliens versus predators. What do you think?
William?
I
love Predator. I love Predator so much. I've never played the Legendary Encounters Alien, but I'm really excited now. I think I'm going to play Alien and then I'll go to Predator. I'm really excited for this new Predator game that's going to come out.
Me too. I'm a little worried that maybe it won't feel as smooth as the Alien game. Because the Alien game, it was all about that kind of secret, sneaky alien. You're scared. And if you're I can see that maybe you're playing as the humans versus the Predator, but if you're playing as the Predator, it seems like they'd have to completely change the mechanics. Maybe they will. Maybe that'll be something that makes it really cool, but I'm excited, but I'm a little worried.
Yeah, it might be more of a challenge for them. Although I'll be interested to see how they handle the Predator stealth mechanics.
Yeah.
All right, so they're not done. They announced a lot of stuff. They're bringing back an old collectible card game that they had Versus. This game was really hot. Yes, it's the game you threw away. This game was really hot a long time ago. And it burned out, kind of. Like, I remember people who played Magic started buying it, and they were excited about it, and then it just seemed to kind of flame out and went away. Well, they're bringing it back, and they're bringing it back in a living card game format. I don't think they're going to call it a living card game. I think Fantasy Flight owns those rights. But it looks to be very similar to the old version of the system. I think I already know what you think about that.
Magic's better. I threw it away. I'm sad.
Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, I didn't really play too much of the Versus system, so I'm not sure how it compares. I know that it was something that I tried for a little bit and didn't really get into. So it seems interesting. Anything that's a living card game, I get kind of excited about because I like the idea of the one pool of cards or whatever you want to call it, maybe if it's not a living card game. So I'll give it a shot, but I'm not like the Predator one was.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. So another one they announced, another older IP, is a Crow board game. This game is not going to have anything to do with their legendary sets at all. It's its own thing, and apparently it's going to be one versus many. I assume that means one Crow versus many criminals. I don't know how she would do that thematically and still be correct. And I haven't heard anything about Crow in a long time. I liked the Crow. What do you guys think?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you're too young. You're too young. All right.
What's the Crow?
He's this supernatural vigilante guy.
Yeah, there's even talk about them maybe like making another movie with it. So I think they're trying to bring this property back. It could be interesting. I like if it's going to be in the vein of like the Fury of Dracula or something along that lines, where it's kind of like one person moving around trying to do stuff and everyone else trying to figure it out. That could be neat. But if it's some type of weird dungeon delving game or something like that, it doesn't really feel like a fit on theme. So until I learn more about it, I'm kind of up in the air. But it seems like it could be interesting.
That's a good idea. If they don't do that, we should. Like Fury of Dracula, where the Crow is actually coming in and trying to kill the criminals, that would be actually pretty fun. All right, one last one from Upper Deck. This is one I'm excited about. Firefly Shiny Dice. This is a straight dice push your luck game in the Firefly universe. I don't really have any details about how it works yet. But you say Firefly, I'm immediately, what? Love that universe. Dice push your luck game, if it's a well-made, like, filler type game, I'm always open to new ones of those. What do you think?
I've never really been in that end of Firefly. I mean...
Oh, you're going to be in so much trouble now, sir.
I know, but that could be fun. I mean, I like dice games, but I don't know that much about Firefly, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I was kind of late to the Firefly train. I was kind of about it at first, and everyone says they love it, so now I have to say it's the best show ever. I like the movie a lot. A dice push your luck game, those are always fun. We'll see if I want to see if it actually has a Firefly theme to it, or if they just put a little picture of the Serenity on the side of it, and that's it. But sure, I'm down.
Yeah. I'm down. All right. So that's the news from Upper Deck at Gama. We'll come back and talk about Fantasy Flight. Okay, so Fantasy Flight, a big publisher, had a lot of news at Gama as well. Fantasy Flight owns some big IPs, like they do the Star Wars stuff for almost everything. Mm-hmm. They work with Games Workshop and have put out a lot of Warhammer-themed products. Not to mention they have their own stuff, like the Rune-bound universe, and they do a lot of stuff. They're known for their boxes, they're known for their quality. They got their fingers in a lot of pies. So let's talk about what they talked about. Here's a pretty big one. New expansion set for Star Wars Imperial Assault, which, by the way, they announced was their biggest release of all time, which for them is huge.
Great,
because they make X-wing constantly. This is called Twin Shadows, and what's exciting about this is it seems to feature Boba Fett. So I think looks like it might be on Tatooine, which would be new map tiles and stuff.
That'd be cool.
What do you think?
I'm really excited. When I love Star Wars Imperial Assault, but something was missing. I think it was Boba Fett. And Tatooine. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to have Tusken Raiders in it too.
Well, I'm excited about it too. I don't know. It seems like it's going to really fuel the story, because I know there's extra story modes and stuff like that in it. The rumor I've heard, though, is there's not actually a Boba Fett miniature in it. There's just a little token.
I heard that. Yeah, he's going to be a separate little blister.
Yeah. So that made me get a little grumps. But the theory, the theming behind it, all that stuff, I'm excited about that. Yeah, adding more is always fun.
It does look like Fantasy Flight's pursuing sort of a chase thing with some of this stuff. For instance, in the base set, there's at some point we've been playing the campaign. You're going to face off with this big bad general who has his own AT-ST walker, and that didn't come with the game. He's a separate little thing you can buy, or you use a token for him. So we'll be buying him before we get to that mission. All right, what else we got? Star Wars Armada. So this was actually announced last year's convention season. Star Wars Armada is kind of the capital ship version of X-Wing. It's big capital ships fighting each other.
Oh.
So it's a different scale. So your fighters are like these little clusters on stands. So you have little fighter squadrons zipping around, and then your big capital ships. I love the models when I saw them from Gen Con previews. I just didn't know if the gameplay looked that exciting because it's literally just two lines of forces facing off. And they're going to maneuver and everything, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as fast-paced and tactical as X-Wing was. One big teaser they put in at their Gama announcement for this, because it still isn't available yet, is an Imperial Star Destroyer, which was huge. The base Armada set comes with a Victory-class Star Destroyer, which if you're a big Star Wars geek, is an older, smaller capital ship. And the Imperial Star Destroyer, that's the real deal. That's the one in the movies. What do you think?
I never heard of this.
That's what I'm here for.
I really want to play as the huge ships from Star Wars. That sounds amazing.
You like the idea of the capital ship?
Uh-huh.
Right.
I'm excited now.
Yeah, a little bit I've heard about. Yeah, it seems because it seems like they're changing it up. They're not just making it the X-Wing game, but
bigger.
But shrink everything down so for the ships. It seems like the combat's going to work differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be more like two big ships slugging it out with lots of little stuff going on. So it seems like it could be an interesting change. I think they even said that their plan was for this not to compete directly. Like it's supposed to be kind of two different play spaces. So it seems interesting. I'm into it.
Yeah, it's supposed to appeal, their words, deeper, more strategic players kind of thing. All right, here's another one. This one I'm actually really interested in. They're doing a second edition of Game of Thrones, the living card game. We played that for a fair spell as a collectible card game, then we kind of got out of it. We bought the living card game starter set. We played it a couple times, but we never really followed it. This one is supposed to streamline the system a little bit, and it's completely new artwork and completely new graphic design. So, tweaked system, hopefully a little more streamlined, plus completely new look. And it doesn't look like, from the preview pictures, they did the cheesy, we'll use a TV series pictures. Looks like they're still doing real original artwork, which I prefer. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really like Game of Thrones. I'm not really excited.
Yeah, he's just pissing everybody
off.
All right.
What other big property can you offend?
It sounds good to me. I know I really liked the game back when it was collectible. We kind of skipped over it when it came out as LCG, and I've kind of regretted the fact that we haven't kept up with it at all. I know it's going to be one of those games that comes out with infinite expansions, right? Like every few months there's going to be something new, so I don't know if I'll keep up with it that far, but the fact that it's a reprint, they're updating the graphic design and streamlining it, because I knew that game had a little bit of, finagliness going on with it. I'm behind 100%. I think I'm going to get it when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm excited too. One of our favorite games, and this is going deep, I think, was the Wheel of Time collectible card game. And I always felt like a lot of the mechanics in Game of Thrones felt like a kind of a spiritual successor. They took the dice out of it. Mm-hmm. But, anything that'll keep me in that vein with the intrigue and the different power struggles, I'm really excited about. All right, this is a huge one for them. This was like their big announcement. They did big demos for at Gama. It's a game called Forbidden Stars. It's set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. And it's a game pitting up to 4 players, each representing a different 40k faction or race against each other. They'll be playing on a map made of tiles so that the map can change every time you play. And the tiles represents a sector of space with different little planetary systems and things. every race will have kind of asymmetrical powers, and their troops are all very different. There's also a big emphasis on upgrading your troops as the game goes on. And so everyone's upgrades are very different. So you have the Orcs, the Eldar, the Chaos Marines, and the Space Marines. And it totally seems to be one of those games that, they can just roll out new faction boxes for it easily. This was a real big hit from all the previews I read and watched about Gama. They're also saying it's their highest quality, production value-wise, it's their highest quality game they've ever made. Comes with a retail price of $100. What do you think?
I don't even know anything about Warhammer. Okay, real quick, can someone explain to me why is it called Warhammer like 40K?
Warhammer started with a fantasy game,
Uh-huh.
a fantasy war game,
Yeah.
which was medieval setting.
Yeah.
And then they made a new version, which was space themed, sci-fi themed. But it kept the whole thing with Warhammer is it's very dark, very gothic, very gloomy doomy kind of feel.
Gloomy doomy.
And so the space one was called Warhammer 40,000 or Warhammer 40K because it's 40,000 years in the future kind of thing.
All right.
And they tweaked it. They took the fantasy races and made them alien races. So the elves became Eldar, and the orcs are orcs with a K instead of a C. The Chaos Marines are just messed up chaos versions of humans. But it has space cruisers fighting, orbital bombardment, landing on systems, fighting over them. So it's land and space combat, it looks like. Miniatures look really cool. I'd say that for it.
Meh. I don't care.
You're a meh? Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little mad on it. I'm not a huge 40K fan, so the theme itself isn't pulling me in. I know people are talking about it, and maybe after I give it a shot and play it once and see how the actual gameplay is, but just on theme, I'm not excited, but the quality and potential gameplay seems neat.
Yeah, I definitely want to play it and review it for you guys. Duelality Gamecast might be saving its pennies for a little while to get this one. We'll see. All right, that's it for most of the Fantasy Flight big reveals.
Lots of stuff.
We're gonna, lots of big stuff. We're gonna come back here and talk about a little bit smaller publisher, but very important nonetheless, ILO. All right, the last publisher we're going to talk about today, which by no means was all the publishers at Gama, but I just want to cover some of the big stuff. I'm going to start with a poll. I say this name is ILO. How do you say it?
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Ilo.
When I first saw it, I was going Elo, but now I'm told it's yellow, so I'll be like, yellow is like how I say it.
I think what it is, and you'll see they use yellow a lot in their color schemes, and I think they're originally a European company. So I think it's supposed to be like a European spin on the English word yellow. That's my guess, but it doesn't matter. Let's talk about some games. First off is a kind of Euro-y, lighthearted themed game, Medieval Academy. So this is a whole new property. Basically the game is, I think, for 2 to 4 players. You're going to have tiles laid out. Everyone is a squire. And the tiles represent different places you go at the Medieval Academy to learn to be a knight. So you've got jousting, courtliness, I think, or something like that, romance, and I think the very last tile is fighting a dragon. So I think there's 9 different tiles, so don't quote me on that. And what you're doing is you're going around the board and you're placing some kind of influence markers, and the tiles, uniquely enough, score at different times. So you're trying to have majorities in areas, but you're also trying to time those majorities for the right moment. And then the dragon somehow comes at the very end. I don't know the exact mechanic for it, but fighting the dragon is like the last thing you do. So I think it's like final scoring bonuses or something. So it's a whole new property. It has kind of lighthearted, cartoony art. Does this appeal to you?
Not really. I have a feeling that fighting the dragon won't be as grand as it sounds. So. Nah, I never really care.
Well, it is an abstraction, that's for sure.
It seems. I hadn't heard too much about it. Well, but you told me it seems interesting to me. I like the idea of it being kind of like a area control / worker placement with timing more involved. I'm going to give it a try for sure.
Yeah, I'd like to try it. The next one I'm actually very interested in. It's called Steam Torpedo. Now, this is a 2-player game, which is tough sometimes to get 2-player games for us to get them to the table. But this one is sort of a steampunk universe where 2 submarines are fighting each other. It's that simple. You're trying to destroy the other submarine. But it's a building game where you have different compartments on your submarine and you can kit it out with different upgrades and different systems. And you don't reveal any of that until you actually start the game. So it's a constructible submarine game, dueling game. What do you think?
Yeah, man, this is kind of a streak here. I don't really care. I mean,
No,
2-player games never really done anything for me anyways.
What about Magic the Gathering?
Other than Magic, of course, but that's totally different from what this is. I'm not really excited, no.
Well, again, I haven't heard anything about this. This sounds incredibly exciting to me. I like the idea of like building up something ahead of time, planning it all out. And is there card play for battle? Do you know?
I don't know. They didn't really say. It does look like, maneuverability and the systems you put into it do impact the whole game. But card play, I haven't heard about.
So that's like my most exciting thing. That's what I like most about Magic is the construction of the decks. The idea of building something that starts in play, so you actually build your combos already active, sounds really cool. I'm on board.
Yeah, I'm interested too. It's a 2-player game, so Dylan, go sit in the corner. You and I can play.
That sounds good. Sounds
Play
good.
Magic.
One more from Yellow. This one I'm very excited about. It's called Welcome to the Dungeon. Not only because it sounds like a cool game, but every time we play this, I'm going to be going, Welcome to the Dungeon! Like the song?
It's Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah. So, this is a push your luck game for 2 to 4 players. It has a pretty short runtime, 30 minutes. Basically, it's a neat idea. It kind of harkens back to Ink and Gold, which we reviewed a long time ago, which I still like. I think you've kind of chilled on it, which is a push your luck game. So you've got adventurers daring each other to go into a dungeon. And the way this works mechanically is, on your turn, you're either going to pass or you're going to make the dungeon more dangerous. So, if you pass, you're out. I guess I'm not going to the dungeon today. If you make the dungeon more dangerous. The last person to pass, basically the last person left, is the one who has to go into the dungeon. So, it takes that Ink and Gold, am I going to push my luck or am I done thing, but then it lets the players kind of dictate the hazardousness, the risk, kind of contribute to the risk. So I feel like it's like an extra layer on top of what we would have seen from Ink and Gold. What do you think?
Now, this sounds cool.
Yeah.
I love, I've always, have a special place in my heart for party games because party games have banter, and banter is cool, especially in games. Games with banter make me so happy where you can, threaten people and actually talk with people.
You need to be a lot of smack talking.
Yeah, because it feels more social than other games, you know what I mean?
Calling your fellow.
This sounds cool. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. I agree. I think this sounds cool. From a little bit you've explained again, it sounds like it fixes some of the problems I have with other push your luck games where you're just like, well, I have to keep going because I'm behind. Mm-hmm. This one seems like if you're behind, true, you might have to be the one who pushes it, but you can just scare one off away or let the big guy go and then let him fail horribly. And that sounds cool. I like it. Yeah, they didn't get the complete details. I'm assuming it's a game played in rounds. I imagine you're some number of rounds or points accumulated. So you're probably multiple passes at the dungeon happening. I'm really excited about it. The thing with the Yellow is they're the ones who do King of Tokyo, King of New York, and I think they focus more on slightly more casual games, but still very well-made, well-thought-out games. They usually have a lighthearted tone to them, which is fine if it's a good game. And so, we talked about a lot of big IPs and stuff today, and I gotta be honest, I'm almost just as intrigued by these completely original games as I am the big IP stuff. Would you agree? Yeah.
This is the only one from you I'm excited for, so I don't really
feel
the same.
So that's it for our hot news from the Gamma Trade Show today. Thank you guys for dropping by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Click on Mr. P to subscribe. Tell us the game you want in the comments below.
Hi, I'm Matt Robinson.
That's a little better than the last one.
I don't know. I don't flail.
Domo.